It's like when I came here, like I feel a healing, like just a healing energy. I was having some issues with my health on my leg, and it was like, okay, once I got to Ghana, the pain would just like stop. Wow. And then when I got back home to the US, the pain came back. And then when I came to Ghana, the pain would stop. So it was just like something that I monitor over time. I was like, there is definitely a healing energy here in Ghana.
Real estate family, it's good to have you on here again. Today I'm with my client Nikia Okoye. She's a wonderful lady and I'm so thankful that she consented to come and share her journey of relocating and investing in Ghana real estate here with you. It's been beautiful. I've known her. We've been working together for I think it's been 3 years now, has it? And she has already started to maximize her investments, and so I said, Nikia, I would love for you to come onto the channel and meet our wonderful audience and share your experience. Thank you so much, Nikia. I appreciate it. Please tell us a bit about yourself and what led you to consider moving to Ghana.
Thank you, Anna, for having me. I appreciate that. A little bit about myself. I'm an African American, originally from Cleveland, Ohio. I moved to Washington, D.C. about 20 years ago, working on Capitol Hill as a legislative staff person. Ooh. So I worked for a member of Congress. I worked for a committee, so I was able to kind of utilize my political science degree that I obtained in Ohio in 1994. Oh my gosh. But so a little bit about my kids. I was married to a Nigerian. I have 2 children, ages 17 and 16. One of my children is actually on his way to college at North Carolina A&T, so I'm really excited about that.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. My daughter, just an amazing human being. She's just so wonderful, polite. She is actually very active in sports. She plays volleyball. She's an A student, 4.3 GPA, so I'm just really proud. What led me to Ghana? It was just a calling, I think. And in 2019, I visited with a friend of mine who was celebrating her birthday. She wanted to bring a group of her friends here to just kind of celebrate her moment. I came, we had an Airbnb, we had like a lineup of tours, different things that we did. And it was on a tour that we went to, I think it was the Cape Coast tour and the Slave Castle. So we went on that tour. I mean, it was just heartfelt. However, as I was sitting outside there was like a little waiting area. I was sitting outside and there was this group of children being led by, I think it's 2 Caucasian women, and maybe about 30 or 40 kids. They had on like these cute green uniforms, and it was just a light bulb. I was just like, you know what? I can do this because I have a school, and I really want to replicate what it's always been my goal to do a franchise, so to have multiple franchises. So I thought it was just only natural for me to be able to expand into Ghana and be able to offer the services and the programs, the experience, the learning experience to kids in Ghana. So.
Wow, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. So you mentioned that you had a friend who invited you for her birthday. So was she African American too, or was she Ghanaian as well? When did you first hear about Ghana? When did you first say, I want to visit Ghana?
Yeah, I mean, it was really through her. She's an African American. I think she was celebrating her 38th birthday. And she invited just a group of her friends, her closest friends, to just kind of share in the experience with her. So I came, we had just an amazing time. It was really fulfilling. And, it was at that moment that I realized that, I could really establish myself here. I think it was also it was a statement by one of the police officers I was really surprised by. Like, he was like, welcome home. You know, I was like, oh wow, you know, it was really inviting.
That's wonderful.
It was really inviting.
Wow, that's great. Before that, what was your conception of Ghana before coming in? Did you have any plans? Did you ever think, I want to go there?
I never thought Ghana. I never thought Ghana. However, I wasn't new to the, you know, to Africa, because my ex-husband is Nigerian, and so I had traveled to Nigeria on several occasions, and so I was very familiar. But it was just, it seemed just a bit more inviting when I visited Ghana that I chose that as a location.
That's really nice. It's really nice. So you came with your friends, and then it was during that trip that you decided, you got the light bulb, hey, I want to bring my school here. I want to relocate here, right? What was the first point of action you took? Was it when you were here, or was it when you went back?
It was just like, you know, when I went back, I just started processing everything, just reflecting on my trip, debriefing, and it was like we said, a light bulb. I was like, you know what, you know, this is somewhere that I really would like to relocate to and kind of start a life there.
That's great. And so to talk about the relocation process, what's the first thing that you did to start the process?
So I realized that, you know, once I decided that I wanted to bring my school here, I needed a place to stay, and some other things. And so I then started looking for a property.
Okay.
I had linked up with a couple of my friends who referred me to some opportunities to buy, but they didn't prove to be
what you wanted it to be.
What I really wanted it to be. So I decided to really go about it the right way. I wanted to seek out a realtor. I wanted to seek out an attorney, and those, you know, professionals that will help me navigate the process.
Okay, great. And so I'm the realtor, yay, thank God, which is why we're here. Can you tell about the process of finding the realtor, of, you know, knowing that, okay, I found this realtor and this is why I want to work with him or her, just for the audience to learn and know if they're also looking, like, what do they need to look out for?
Yeah, I think one of the things I've learned is that it's kind of like who you know.
True.
So I was asking around, and I was in contact with, you know, my friend who recommended Dell, who was your cousin, and Dell was like, I you know, I have the perfect person. I expressed what I wanted to do to Dell.
Thank you, Dell.
And he said that, you know, I have the perfect person for you to talk to. And then when I talked to you, it was just, I felt such a sigh of relief. Like, I think she got me. I think she got me.
Yes.
Yes, you were so knowledgeable about the process. I mean, very educated, very professional. So I knew you were someone that I wanted to work with.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Yes, it was great. Getting in touch with you. We usually start off with the video calls. We talk about your goals, and then we selected a number of properties, and then it was like, yeah, I'm coming over to Ghana, and you coming over here, and us actually going to see it, because straight away you knew what you wanted. You said, I'm looking for a place to stay, and I would also like some waterfronts, right? And so Nikia came over to Ghana, and we went on the river with a canoe. How was that, like, remembering all of that and being here? How is that? How do you feel about those
I mean, I'm a nature girl, so it was really like being home. Like in the canoe, I'm a water baby. Okay. Sand, everything, that's just life to me. So just going through the river in the canoe with you guys, and just seeing the environment and the land and the water, the animals, it was just so serene. It was just so serene. So I really enjoyed that part of it, and just seeing the potential.
That's beautiful. Thank you. What did you have any fears or concerns? Because you came here, right? You experienced it. Were there any things that gave you a bit of a concern, or having gone back, was there like a hesitance in your mind that you had to overcome?
I mean, of course, when you set out on a new venture, there's some, like, you know, your stomach is feeling like, oh, am I doing the right thing? But honestly, I just knew it was what God had planned for me.
So for you, it was just like natural, like there was no particular incident you saw or experience that made you think that, hey, maybe I want to overthink this or rethink this?
You know, there was some reservations a little bit in the beginning, like, oh, because, you know, when you really tell people what you want to do or what you have planned, that's why it's kind of good to kind of keep your plans under wraps until things kind of get going. But like, just, you know, a lot of resistance. Oh, are you sure? Are you really, sure you want to do that? And so, naturally those kind of things came, but they didn't deter me.
Okay, great. Were you already thinking of relocating? Were you already having some thoughts about moving out of America prior to coming to Ghana and even considering?
Yeah, it had always been a goal of mine to relocate or have another residence in another country. For a while, a few of my friends, we were talking about doing some investments in Jamaica, buying a home there, an investment property, and because we would travel there all the time, like a couple times a year. We're like, we need to buy something here. So it was always a goal of mine to kind of have a property that I could go to in another country.
Thank you for sharing all of that. That's so helpful. The process of actually like the administration process, getting visas, relocating, at which point did you have to get your residence permit or work permit? How was that, and how challenging or easy was that, and what stakeholders were you using so that others can learn from it?
Yeah, so with establishing yourself, you have to get your bank account, you have to establish certain things, personally. So in order to do those things, you have to have your visa, you have to have your Ghana card or your residence permit, or all of the above, really. But it was a friend of mine, and in Ghana, it's again about who you know. But I was able to connect with someone who helped me through that process. I was able to work with someone, a friend of mine who actually had a business here, wrote me a letter to help with the process. I was working with her organization for a little while, and so she was able to help me get my residence permit. And then my Ghana card came after, and then from there I was able to establish my bank accounts and things like that. So it's a process. You really definitely have to,
be aware to go through it, right?
And just tell people what you're trying to do, and someone could really kind of help you.
That's a great point. Like you said, don't keep it to yourself. There are times you want to keep some of the plans, but once you've decided, let people know, because there's so many people out there who can help you. And so doing that will fish out your helpers. So that's a good point. All right, so let's talk about your specific investments. What initially sparked your interest in investing in real estate in Ghana? You wanted to relocate here, you came here, was good, but what was it about investing? Because you've made at least 3 investments. You've bought your primary residence, you have your school established and ongoing, and then you have a beautiful double waterfront property that you're building on. What sparked the initial consideration to invest in Ghana?
So investing has always been in my blood. When I was 21 years old, I think I told you 20. When I was 21 years old, I bought my first townhome in Washington, D.C.
Wow.
I still have it today.
Congratulations.
It's like tripled in value. So investing.
You're winning. I love it.
And, I just always wanted something that I can leave to someone else, my kids, my family member. And so from there, I, bought more properties, an apartment building in the United States. So investing has always been my thing. So naturally, when I came to Ghana and I saw the potential, just the way that the structures are being made and built, I thought it was really, really different, and a strong foundation, and something that could really, really grow in value over time.
So yeah, really, it's in your blood. You've been doing this since you started talking, or you mean 20 years. So totally, if you're considering relocating anywhere, that would be one of the main things. And as you said, that you need a place to stay. So those were the investments. Can you can we talk about that process, like of getting your primary residence, of getting the lands, the viewing, the due diligence? Like, how was it like? Were there any challenges? Let's share and talk about it, and the due diligence that you had to go through. Like, let's talk about the process.
Yeah, so definitely it was a process, which you were very helpful.
Thank you.
In terms of my residence, I knew I needed a place to stay, so I reached out to you, Anna, to help me find some locations. I think at the time I was working with Tasha, my friend Tasha.
Yes, hello, Tasha.
So we were just looking together, and so I think the Richfield property came and we loved it. It was nice. We thought that it was somewhere we could have as a second home. I initially wanted to like maybe build something, but I thought that having a new construction was probably the better option because they handled all the kind of groundwork for it. So that part, you know, was pretty easy. It was pretty easy.
Initially, you wanted to build yourself, but realizing that you were not located here yourself, the back and forth, you thought it was good to go for ready builds, new construction, as a company that's set up. So the process, we went and we saw the area and the neighborhood, which was important, so that you know for yourself what it looks like. And then once you first entered the community, what was it like? Did you know immediately that this was it, or did you want to see more?
Yeah, I mean, I was impressed by the gated community. It looked very, very safe. It looked well put together. It just looked like a community I could grow in. Yeah, I was really impressed by it.
And then what about the beachfront, the lands? Tell me about how you felt like going there, because it's in the Volta region. I think it's about a 3-hour drive from here.
Yeah,
right?
It's about 2.5 hours drive from here. I wanted a vacation home as well. So, and also a place that doubled as an investment property. So we started to look at land areas. We found this land in the Volta region. We started to do our due diligence. We hired an attorney, a surveyor, and we were working with the land records office to make sure you know, all the ducks were in a row, all the documents were clean and things like that. The land was able to be, you know, sold. So, you know, that was a process, and it was really helpful to have Jonathan, my attorney, really kind of sift through the process and tell me like what I needed to do to get this thing done. So I reached out to a contractor to talk about, you know, how do we make this, how do we put this,
bring it to life?
How do we bring it to life? How do we build this thing? So I got a couple quotes, and then I was just able to kind of make a decision about, you know, who I would go with. One of the challenges I would say is to really know the contractor and what their experience is, see what they've done in the past, because I kind of struggled in that area with finding a contractor. But I think one of the important things is to really vet the contractor, ask for his, you know, what he's done in the past or what they've done in the past, so you can make an informed decision. But you know, once I had the plans, I had the contractor selected, I mean, things have, you know, kind of taken off. It's been a little bit slow because, of course, it's kind of a pay-as-you-go kind of deal. So I was able to find an investor who believed in my project. He's Ghanaian, so he really believed in my project and wanted to invest in it. And he's now kind of taken over the, you know, the nuts and bolts of getting everything done. Because I'm going back and forth, I really rely on him a lot to get things done. So it's going.
That's
I'm
beautiful.
hopeful that by December it'll be ready.
Yeah, let's get ready to book. I think I'll be the first person to book to stay there. I mean, I was so excited when I saw like the photos and the videos of construction actually coming up. You know,
I mean, a sunken in seated area, a rooftop jacuzzi, a pool, a grilling area, 4 bedrooms, a movie theater. I mean, it's just an amazing.
The double water, it has a riverfront and then a beachfront as well. So that is like amazing. How did my real estate agency services help you navigate the Ghanaian real estate market?
Oh my gosh, I think without you, I don't think I could have done it. Just from finding the location, the property, navigating and serving as just like a liaison to the landlords, educated me along the way about the process, things that I needed to look forward to and things that I needed to do. Finally sealing the deal, and then it was really, really helpful to have you with my primary residence be there at the handover to just kind of do the walkthrough, as I wasn't able to be there. Anna, you did the walkthrough for me. You went and went through and notated things that needed to be addressed, and I think that was very, very valuable.
That's awesome. Thank you. Glad
just
to
your
hear.
Personal touch. I mean, it's just like the way you care. It's really
Thank you. I'm so happy. I'm so happy that we could do that, because really that's what we set out to do. Most people are worried about, like, the real estate agent doesn't really care. They want to show me the first thing that comes on, get their money and move on. But like you said, it's very important that you care, because it's a major investment. Yep. And I wouldn't ever want anyone to feel like I made an investment and then regret it later. Of course, it's never risk-free. Yeah. And then also just to keep in touch, especially when you're not in the country, always feel like you have someone. If someone needed to do a check for you, like the inspection, we do that. Even if you're in the country, it's just to walk with you, because we've done it so much, and point out things that you may not see. So thank you for sharing that. Was there any specific aspect of our support that was really valuable to you? I know you've talked in general about it, but was there something that really stood out that you're like, if we didn't get this, this might have been a problem or affected your investment?
I mean, I think just like the personal care and attention that you paid throughout the process, honestly. Specifically, like I was saying, the walkthrough, being there, being present, being sort of like my eyes and ears, talking to the development about things. So yeah, just kind of being my person, and I mean answering any questions that I had. I know I was always calling you, oh Anna, what about this? What about that? So just being available to really help and just navigate the process was just really
awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And it feels good to be here and to even hear this. So anyone who's looking to get a real estate agent, you may have touched on this, but I just want to check just in case, what should they be looking out for, right? Do you recommend that potential investors or people like you coming in choose to work with a real estate agent, or you think, hey, you could do it on your own? And if they do choose, what should they be looking out for? Because anybody can come up and say, I do this, I do that, but I mean, I would definitely recommend a professional realtor, because you have the experience, the process, and you can really educate your clients. So I wouldn't have done it any other way. Awesome. Wouldn't have done it any other way. Great. And what did you look at to see? So you said, for example, when we first had the video calls and all of that, you could tell was so knowledgeable and all of that. So basically, these are the pointers, like ask the questions, get to know them, so that you're not working with face value. Could you touch a bit more on that, on how your own personal due diligence, how you do it?
I mean, honestly, you handled a lot of that for me.
Okay.
Just from start to finish, I think you were there at each step of the way.
Yeah.
Okay, this is where we're going, and this is the next step. So I think you having the knowledge to be able to work through each different aspect of the process was really helpful to me. I don't know.
It made it easier. Like I get it.
So much easier.
You felt the help, and even like questions you had were being answered, were being asked. So
and I also felt like I could really trust you. I felt like I could trust you.
Okay, great. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. We've spoken about your private residence here in Ghana and the beachfront land. Now let's talk about your school. What made you decide to establish Eco Tots here in Ghana?
Yeah, so Eco Tots is the first of its kind, an environmentally focused child care center and preschool. We have 2 locations now, one in the US and one here in Ghana.
Wow, winning!
The goal is to provide a learning environment where kids can just really excel without being exposed to toxins, environmental hazards, the things that are in food. And so we wanted to provide an environment where kids can eat clean, learn clean, and grow clean. Wow,
amazing. And how long has this, when did you first start it off?
So I started Eco Tots in 2014.
So you have the experience. 10 years, congratulations.
Yes, wow. It's been an amazing experience, and it's quite a change from what I was doing before. But again, like I think that God called me into this field, and it's just been a great experience and very fulfilling and rewarding just to be able to pour into children.
That's amazing. So your children are they're now about 10 years and more, between 10 to 15.
Yes.
Do you ever come across some of them?
When I look at, I'm friends with some of the Facebook parents or some of the parents on Facebook, and so when I look at their photos of how their kids have grown. Like one of the children that started with us is already going off to college. So I'm just like, I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
Great foundation.
Yes.
And now it's here in Ghana.
Yes.
When did you know that you wanted to establish it in Ghana?
In Ghana, I knew that I wanted to establish it when I was on a trip out in Cape Coast. There was a line of children, maybe about 30 children, led by two, I think, Caucasian women.
Okay.
And you know, they had on these really cute green uniforms, and I just thought to myself, like, oh wow, you know, what an opportunity to bring Eco Tots to Ghana, and just be able to have the children here experience what we have to offer.
Wow, and just like that, you decided, I love it, you're a go-getter. Like from everything you've told me, right from the beginning, you know, you've always gone for what you want, especially as I see in your investment. How has it been actually establishing it in Ghana? Right, you had the plans, you decided. What are the challenges you face? This building, I helped you to rent it. I remember that it was an old building, and now it's totally different. Like, tell me about that process, registering the business, getting people to come and work in there. Just tell me all about it. Tell us about it.
It's been quite an experience, but a very rewarding one. Upon finding this building, it was just something that, again, this is like these light bulbs just kept going off. When we toured a couple different locations, I think there was also one that we looked at down at the end of this street, right? Yeah. However, when I saw this building, I knew this was it. I said, this is it right here. We talked about what the rent would be, and so I was very okay with, you know, everything. So at that point, you know, I knew I had to do some renovations to the building. It was very old, hadn't been occupied in a while. So I brought in someone to take a look at it, give me some estimates. I brought in a couple different people to do that. Got some different estimates on what it would take to really renovate this into the space that we needed it to be. One of the great things is all the classrooms were already established, so we just kind of had to come in and do some, you know, work to the exterior and the interior to make it very presentable, and also to make it eco-friendly. You know, so that part.
That's beautiful. Yeah. So this wasn't a school before, right?
No, I think it was an office space or someone's residence. The family, I think the parents had passed on and left the building to the siblings, and so they were looking to rent it out and things like that. So.
Yeah, because it's beautiful that you say the classrooms were already established. It's like the minute you saw, you're like, oh, this is set up already to be classrooms. It was waiting for you to, right? When we came here, it was like nobody had been to see it in a while, and it was waiting for you. So that's awesome. Can you tell us about like hiring people, registering the business, getting the school started, and even making it eco-friendly? What are some of the things you had to do? So the parents who are in Ghana, we are here in East Legon. It's a great school you want to be in. We'll do a little tour of it. They can come and bring their children here. Yeah,
absolutely. So, you know, Eco Tots, we stand for non-toxic environments, and so we had to come in, you know, the materials that we use, like the paints that we use to in the classrooms and then throughout the building were eco-friendly, non-toxic. The toys and materials, we shipped a lot of things over from the US, eco-friendly toys, a lot of Montessori-based things, wooden toys.
Nice.
Yep. So that part, you know, was a process, and then hiring. The big thing was hiring the contractor to really do the work. We had to vet that, and we made some mistakes, and so we had to correct them, and so. But we're here. But in registering the business, once everything was set up. We registered the business. I was able to work with a local Ghanaian as my partner. So we did a partnership, which made it a little bit easier. So we registered the business and start, you know, putting together our accounts, our SNID and things like that. And then, you know, people actually came to us. We didn't really have to recruit a lot. You know, individuals in the community saw our signage, saw the things that we were doing, and they were actually reaching out to us. Oh, is the school ready? Is it finished? And so we were just kind of keeping contact with the teachers that we had met and letting them know, you know, keeping them abreast of our progress, and, you know, when we might be able to, you know, have them come in. And so I think in February of this year, everything was completed with the renovations and everything. We had our business registered. We actually have our certificate where the Department of Social Services came out, and we received an A grade, which is the highest grade.
This is where the clap. That's beautiful. Yeah, that's beautiful. Wonderful. One thing I'm picking up, and I think you did say it earlier, is you do seek the help. You don't try to do it all on your own, and you're very particular about strategic partnerships, right? And it's important because someone may learn of that and say, hey, I need to do partnerships, but how careful are you? Because you don't just partner with just anyone, right? What are the little things you looked out for, or the little or big things you looked out for in people you decided to partner with? What made you know that you want to partner with them? Because most of our audience will be learning from you and would understand that's a good plan, but what are some advices or pointers you can give to them to make sure that they're doing it right?
Yeah, I would say, first and foremost, character. Just really being able to trust the person with your assets and things like that, and someone who is knowledgeable about the process of what to do and how to do it and how to get it done, basically, and someone who was able to really invest the capital that I needed, because again, I couldn't do everything on my own, so I wanted to get.
That's great. Thank you. Yep. That's great. Can you tell me about the core mission and value of Eco Tots, what it stands for?
Eco Tots, we wanted to provide kindergarten readiness, can I just say our mission statement?
Yes, please. I'm sure it's perfect.
So at Eco Tots, we provide early learning and kindergarten readiness, and we combine that with fitness, health, and love for the environment.
Fitness, health, and love for the environment. That's wonderful. How do you incorporate that into the students' daily schedule?
Yeah, so we build that into the curriculum.
Okay.
We do yoga here. We have a school garden where we teach kids how to plant and grow their own food, kind of like a farm-to-table situation, because with the food that we plant and grow and harvest, we're able to use it in our meal service here. So that really makes it, full circle. And then again, with the things that we bring into the classrooms, the materials that the kids use, eco-friendly items that are non-toxic, and healthy learning environments.
That's great. And what's the size of the school like?
So this school, we would like to max out at about 40 children.
Okay.
We have a few kids now, but we want to go ahead and max out at 40 kids. We want to have it small in size so that we are able to give each child individualized attention and care.
Wonderful. Yeah. Well done. Thank you for bringing your values here to impact Ghanaians and others who are either expatriates, anyone living in Ghana. What are some of the challenges you encounter? We've talked about your successes, it coming to play. What are some challenges you encountered? Because challenges can really break the deal for people and stop them and then just turn back. So hearing that every other person goes through it and is able to overcome it and can share some pointers of that, could you please tell us about that?
Yeah, there were times that I definitely wanted to turn back. But I think it took me a while to find a solid team that of staff.
Okay.
So I went through a couple of staff. Some didn't really have the mission in mind and the goals that we wanted to accomplish. They were just kind of, just around to get a paycheck. But once I vetted staff and was able to bring in a solid team with experience working with children and that was really committed to our mission, I think things have now been, very much smoother.
I can tell. It's like a smooth sailing process here, and it's so calm. You feel the serenity over here. So awesome. Congratulations, because that's huge. How did it feel to finally launch the school?
Oh my goodness, it was so emotional. I mean, I just really couldn't believe it, honestly. I was like, oh my goodness, it's finally here. It's finally done. We're finally ready. It was blood, sweat, and tears over 2 years of renovating, getting everything ready, shipping items here, organizing things, getting staff, getting documents ready. So it was just like, wow, I can't believe that I actually did it. And I really am even in awe today.
Yes, you should be well done. I'll say it again because it's so important. And I'm so happy that you realized and acknowledged that and, pat yourself on the back because it's not easy to do this. And so well done. And I can see that it'll be a great success. And I speak blessings onto it. I know it'll be even greater than you expected. How has it been running running 2 branches. You've gone international. That's great. How has it been?
Yes, I mean, it's been a surreal experience because like I never thought that I would have an international business. And when I was obtaining my master's in business administration, you kind of had to pick a concentration that you will focus on for your studies. I focused on international business, which taught me all the intricacies of running an international business. At the time, I had no thought about opening the international business. So when things in Ghana kind of came to be, it was just like, oh wow, I can use the degree that
it was years before.
Like, yeah. So
and what did you learn like from that has helped you?
So I mean, international business was pretty, general and vague, but like once I got into Ghana, learned the environment, the culture, what the parents needed, what the parents wanted. The checks and balances, the financial parts. I was really able to just kind of put things in place to really make it work.
That's good. So speaking of that, have you had to make some minor changes to suit the cultural environment in here?
Oh yes. In terms of our curriculum, we still want the children to stay rooted in their culture. So we have, in addition to the American-based curriculum that we offer here, we have integrated the Ghana curriculum as well.
Great.
So they stay grounded into their culture.
Great. Yeah, that's wonderful. That's great. You're splitting your time between Ghana and the U.S. How has that been? How are you doing it?
So as a mom, it's definitely something that you really have to juggle and use your time wisely. You have to really have good time management. What I try to do is, right now I'm spending about a month to 6 weeks here every 3 months. So I try to come to Ghana about 4 times a year and spend about a month or so here. But I kind of build that around my children's lives. They have so much going on.
Wonderful.
They have, I try to make all their ceremonies like honor roll. My kids just had graduation. They had prom. So I was there for all of that. So I just try to build everything around them first, and then I'm able to free up my time. I know it's probably but I do put my kids first.
You're amazing, Nikia. I just want to tell you, you're amazing. You're doing so much, and you're so considerate of everyone, and you look good doing it. So I can tell you're considerate of yourself as well, which is very important. You're amazing, because hearing how you're thinking about your children, you're thinking about your legacy, you think about other people's children, right?
Yeah.
That's wonderful. What advice would you give to someone who's at the beginning stage, right? We were talking about the challenges you face, and if you had to go back to the start, what would you do differently?
Yeah, I mean, I would say seek professional help. I mean, and if I were to do things differently, I would make sure that I had my capital in place in the beginning, so that when I start reaching out to different professionals, I can, be able to compensate them for their time and their, their expertise, and just it makes the process a little more smoother and less stressful.
Okay, that's good. Were there any preconceived ideas about Ghana or Africa because you came to Nigeria as well?
Yeah, I mean, of course you hear like different things over the United States, like, Africans live this way, or they live in huts, or there's no development, third world country. So you hear those things over the years as you grow up and things like that. But when I actually stepped foot on ground in Africa, specifically Ghana, I mean, you see like major developments, buildings, structures, and things that really speak to how it's developed over the years, and the potential for it just being, just a great country to be able to establish yourself in.
Do you feel safe in Ghana?
I do feel safe, especially with the lovely police officers that check up on me regularly.
Everybody loves our police officers. That's
I find
really nice.
that they really, sometimes when I come through the different checkpoints, they've gotten to know me very well, and so they now just kind of shuffle me through the process.
That's nice. That's nice. And how the environment in Ghana and the US, is it very different? And are you enjoying the differences? Do you miss it when you come here?
It's like when I came here, like I feel a healing, like just a healing energy. I was having some issues with my health on my leg, and it was like, okay, once I got to Ghana, the pain would just like stop.
Wow.
And then when I got back home to the US, the pain came back. And then when I came to Ghana, the pain would stop. So it was just like something that I monitor over time. I was like, there is definitely a healing energy here in Ghana. So
that's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. So healing, it's welcome back home. You know, this is your root, your source. So once you're here, there's that connection. That's wonderful. Okay, can we talk about some culture shocks that you had, you know, you've experienced here?
So a couple of culture shocks. I mean, the one major one is just time. I mean, there's a whole new meaning, because I know, you know, blacks and black Americans, we have, you know, our black folks time.
Yes.
But Ghanaian
this was on steroids.
Like, exponentially. So that was just like really, you know, a struggle to really kind of accept.
Okay.
People just going to do things on their own time. I mean, nobody's rushing, nobody's in a hurry. In the U.S., everything is just like, oh, you got to do this. And time is really a major factor in things. But here it's much slower. And things just get done when they get done.
How have you worked around that? What did you have to tell yourself?
Trust the process. I just had to say trust the process.
Yes.
And just be patient, honestly, because you're not in the U.S., so you can't really expect things to operate on that kind of, you know, time and framework. So you just have to learn to be flexible and realistic too.
Realistic, I like that. And what about the foods? You know, and then even embracing the culture and the clothing.
Oh my goodness, like the food is absolutely just amazing. I mean,
Ghana jollof, of course.
Of course,
yes.
Yeah. So, absolutely. So like, I should just share that my daughter visited these past couple weeks, and she determined that Ghana has the best jollof.
Hey, come on, that's beautiful.
Yes.
And she's Nigerian,
and she's
right?
Nigerian.
She's eating Nigerian jollof.
Of course.
Okay.
All the time.
Done deal. Thank you.
Yep. So,
we need to give her a trophy.
Shout out to Ghana.
Shout out to
Ghana
you.
jollof.
Yes.
But the food in general I found was very fresh. The fruits, and you know, in the U.S., you know, our food is tainted with a lot of chemicals, additives, preservatives, and things that really impact our health and well-being. And a lot of individuals in the U.S., like, you know, are sick and have a lot of illnesses, diabetes, hypertension. A lot of it is the food source.
You've shared a lot of your challenges and successes, thankfully. What kept you going despite the challenges?
For me, I've always been someone who has to see the project through. No matter what, you got to see it to the end. And I've had that whole philosophy all my entire life. Anything, like, I will never give up on something until it's just inevitable. But like with the things that I'm doing here, I just knew that it was going to be a process. You had to trust the process. You had to be patient, and you just have to remain faithful. You know, prayer life was very important, but just not wanting to give up on your dream, not wanting to give up on things that you've really worked hard for, and really wanting to see the fruit of your labor.
Wonderful. That's beautiful. That's good reason. And for anyone else who's considering relocating or dividing their time between Ghana and the US or Ghana and any other country, what do you think they need to know to reduce their challenges and risks? Like, what would you say? Look,
I mean, I would say go for it, for one. Go for it.
Okay.
And two, do your research, do your due diligence. Work with professionals. Don't think that you know everything. Don't think that you can do it all on your own. Work with the local community. Engage with the local community. Just be a part of the community, and I think that will serve you well.
That's great. That's wonderful. And can we touch again on the stakeholders that you found most resourceful? Like, get to know this professional. So of course, you know, Anna, my lovely realtor, it was very important that you just to help me throughout the process. Jonathan, who's my attorney, really, you know, worked on all the legalities, the land, the research, all the filings that I needed to do. He handled that for me. Nana Yao, who was really
helpful with the design of the beachfront property. So in general, just really, really using professionals to help you through the process, and also having your capital together to be able to do that.
That's great. That's great. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yep.
What are your future plans for real estate? You've been here. Have you identified any other, because you've done so much already, but as a core investor, have you identified any areas that you're thinking, I want to do this?
Yeah, it's so interesting because over the weekend I visited Abri Mountain, and it was just amazing. It's like so serene. It's like up in the mountains, and I think maybe I might look into maybe investing in one of those projects.
That's wonderful. So, it's good. I love that you're keeping your eyes open, and you're considering, because that's how growth is. You keep on going. So that's fantastic. How? Let's talk about your reflections. Right? What has been the most rewarding part of your journey to establish in Ghana?
I think seeing it all happen, seeing it all come to fruition, like getting the keys to my home, starting the building on the beachfront property, opening up, a learning center and preschool here. So, I mean, just really seeing the fruit of my labor. I mean, that's been the most rewarding part. I
can't imagine anything else that is beautiful. And how has this influenced your personal and professional life?
I mean, it makes me want to do more. I mean, sometimes I get a little crazy, like, you need to slow down a little bit, but it's like, to see what I've already done, I just know I could do whatever it is I set my mind to.
Yes, so. That's true. It's simple, straightforward, and fact. I love that. Do you have any final thoughts? Our audience has been so wonderful to stay with us throughout. They've learned a lot. Any final thoughts that you want to share if you had to sit with people who are interested in real estate in Ghana or moving to Ghana or life in general? What are your philosophies or values or personal thoughts that you would like to share?
I mean, from overall, I would say, Ghana is an amazing country. I've learned so much by being here, traveling here, investing here. I think every African American should, and diasporan should take a visit to Ghana. The beauty of the country is just, it's immeasurable, and it's just a wonderful vibe. It's a wonderful vibe.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you so much, Nikia. This has been great. And thank you also. I know you'll be showing us a tour of this lovely school, so please join us as we do that. But I wanted to take this time to say thank you so much for trusting me, for trusting my agency to do it, for being wonderful, because it's never one way. It's never the agent who's all good and perfect. It's also the client, your trust, also your insights, right? Working together. So that is the only way we can come to success. So thank you so much for that, and for your friendship and relationship. Absolutely. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. This has been great. I'm so excited because this is the first time that I've got one of my clients on, and I'm so happy you get the opportunity to hear from someone who's actually been through the process and sharing her experiences. If you're looking to make any investment in real estate, contact me and my team via the contact details below. You can also visit our website, www.ARKUTU.com, written on the screen, and you can scan the scan code to get to it right away and reach out to us. We'll be happy to guide you through it. Let's go for the tour, and after, stay tuned for the next video.